The first time I was ever left home alone, I was 7 years old, and I remember thinking that the house sounded different the moment the front door closed. Not quieter, louder. Every small noise suddenly mattered. The tick of the wall clock became a countdown to something unknown. The hum of the refrigerator felt like breathing. My parents had gone to a nearby wedding hall, promising they'd be back before midnight, promising I'd be asleep before they returned. I nodded like a brave kid, but the moment their car pulled away, the walls felt closer that I sat on the floor in front of the TV, knees pulled to my chest, cartoons playing too loud. The living room light was on, but the hallway behind me was dark, a long black tunnel leading to the bedrooms. I told myself not to look down it. I failed almost immediately. At first, nothing happened. Minutes passed, then an hour. I relaxed just enough to feel foolish for being scared. That was when I heard my name. It wasn't loud. It wasn't clear. It came from the hallway, like someone whispering through a mouthful of air. I muted the TV. Hello? I asked, hating how small my voice sounded. No answer. I turned the volume back up, but not all the way. My eyes kept drifting back to the hallway. I knew every sound the house made. The pipes groaned sometimes. The ceiling creaked. This wasn't that. Then it happened again. My name. Slower this time. Stretched, like it was being pulled apart. I stood up, heart pounding so hard I could feel it in my ears. I took one step toward the hallway, then stopped. My parents had always said never to answer strangers. Never to go looking for voices when you're alone. I told myself it was my imagination. I told myself it was the TV. I told myself anything except what my fear was whispering. Then I saw the shadow that moved across the far bedroom wall, tall and thin, like someone passing by a doorway that shouldn't have had anyone near it. The shape didn't match anyone in my family. It didn't match any furniture. I ran to the front door and tried the handle, even though I knew it was locked. I pressed my forehead against the wood and cried silently, terrified of making noise. That's when I heard footsteps above me. Our house didn't have a second floor. The footsteps were slow, deliberate, pacing back and forth, as if someone was deciding something. I slid down against the door and covered my ears. When my parents finally came home, they found me asleep on the floor, tear-streaked, the TV still playing static. They didn't believe me that I didn't sleep alone again for years. The second story belongs to my cousin, though he refuses to talk about it now. When he was 9, his parents left him alone every afternoon after school for about 2 hours. He liked the quiet. He liked pretending he was grown. He followed a routine: snack, homework, video games. Nothing ever went wrong until the day the doorbell rang. He wasn't expecting anyone. His parents had taught him not to answer the door, so he ignored it. The bell rang again, longer this time, more impatient. Then came the knocking. Not loud, not aggressive, just steady. 3 taps. Pause. 3 taps again. He crept to the hallway mirror and peeked through the side window of the front door. No one was there. The porch was empty. The knocking continued. Tap. 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 This time, it came from inside the house. He froze. The sound came from his parents' bedroom door at the end of the hallway. 3 gentle knocks, like someone politely asking to be let in. He whispered, "Mom?" No answer. The knocking stopped. He thought maybe he imagined it, until the bedroom door handle began to turn. Slowly, carefully, like whoever was on the other side didn't want to be heard. My cousin ran to the bathroom and locked himself inside. He sat in the tub, holding his knees, listening as footsteps moved through the hallway, stopping outside the bathroom door. Something pressed against it. He could see the handle twitch, testing the lock. A voice spoke then. It sounded like his mother, but wrong. Too flat. Too empty. "Open the door," it said. I forgot my keys. He didn't move. He didn't breathe. After a while, the pressure on the door vanished. The house went silent. When his parents returned, every door in the house was wide open, including the bedroom door. They said someone must have broken in and left. My cousin knew better. The third story is mine again, though I wish it wasn't. I was 10, old enough to stay home alone at night for short periods. Confident, they said. Responsible, they said. That night, the power went out during a storm. Rain hammered the roof, thunder shaking the windows. I lit candles like my parents had taught me, one in each room I planned to use. The shadows they cast stretched and twisted, turning familiar furniture into something hostile. I sat at the kitchen table, doing homework, trying not to listen to the wind. That's when I noticed the back door was unlocked. I was sure I had locked it. I stood there for a long time, staring at the dark glass, my reflection flickering in candlelight. Finally, I reached out and locked it, my hand shaking. Behind me, something exhaled. I spun around. The kitchen was empty, but the air felt warmer, heavier, like someone had just been standing too close. Then the candles started going out, one by one. No breeze, no wind inside, just sudden darkness creeping closer as each flame died. I ran for the living room, but stopped when I saw wet footprints on the floor. They weren't human. Too long, too narrow. The toes dragged unnaturally, like whatever made them wasn't used to walking upright. They led from the back door into the hallway. Into my bedroom. I hid under the couch, holding my breath, as something moved through the house. I heard drawers opening, doors creaking, a low humming sound, off key, like a lullaby being remembered incorrectly. When the power came back on, the house was empty. No footprints, no open drawers. Except my bedroom door. It was locked from the inside. The fourth story happened to a girl who lived down my street. She was 8 years old and afraid of the dark, but her parents thought fear built character. They left her alone one evening to go grocery shopping. She sat on her bed with a flashlight, reading comics. That's when she heard someone whispering from under the bed. Not words, just breathing. She told herself it was the house settling. She told herself it was nothing. Then fingers wrapped around the edge of the mattress and pulled themselves into view. The hands were small, child-sized. The face that followed wasn't. It smiled at her with too many teeth and whispered, "Your parents said I could watch you." When her parents returned, they found her standing in the corner of her room, eyes wide, flashlight still on, whispering to someone who wasn't there. But she never slept in that room again. And sometimes, when you pass that house late at night, you can still see the light under the bed.